Small October is the name of the political course in 1926 to 1927 of the Kazakh authorities used to strengthen control over the life of the people and suppress local elites. The founder of this idea was F.I Goloshchekin. In the memory of the Kazakh people, he remained a man whose name is associated with famine. From the memories of the historian of the revolution Vladimir Lvovich Burtsev about Goloshchekin, this is a typical Leninist. This is a man whom blood will not stop. This trait is especially noticeable in his nature, and a cruel with some elements and degeneration. In party life, he was distinguished by arrogance, was a demagogue and cynic. He didn't consider Kazakhs as people at all. Goloshchekin didn't have time to appear in Kazakhstan, as he said that there was no Soviet power here, and it was necessary to arrange Small October. Immediately after arriving in Kazakhstan, Goloshchekin noted the absence of Soviet power in the Kazakh house and announced the need to walk through the house with Small October. The essence of Small October. The essence of the idea of Small October was the destruction of the traditional Kazakh community. The strong influence of the pies was noticeable. The protest also envisaged the transition of the Kazakh nomadic and semi-nomadic population to settled life. Let's not forget that the main goal of the Soviet government was the accelerated industrialization of funds, for which they had to come directly from the agriculture sector of the economy. The idea of Small October was supposed to prepare the ground for this purpose, and the traditional economy based on private ownership of land and livestock couldn't give it in a short time.
Course of the event. Having eliminated the opposition in Kazakhstan, Goloshchekin began to implement the idea of a Small October revolution. From 1926 to 1927, a redistribution of arable pasture lands was carried out, as a result of which about 1,360,000 decisions of hayfields and 1,250,000 decisions of arable lands were taken from wealthy farmers and transferred to the poor. However, this process did not bring the expected result of Goloshchekin. Poor people who had no livestock could not use the hayfields and pastures that had been transferred, and most often returned them back to their former owners. Attempts were also made to form Kazakh auls like Russian village. However, this measure only led to a reduction in the number of livestock. This effect is justified by the fact that the livestock created in one place did not allow the grass cover to recover in the proper volume. The next step of Goloshchekin was the confiscation of the property of large buys and their eviction together with the families outside the area of residence. According to the plan, it was planned to confiscate the property and livestock of about 700 farms. In fact, this figure was higher, since not only large castle owners were subjected to confiscations, but also Sredniki, who were noticed to be disloyal to the Soviet government. In total, as a result of the campaign, about 1,450,000 head of cattle were transferred to the poor.
Consequently, Goloshchekin's inept economic policy and the excess he committed led to a tragic constitution. The grain procurement crisis began, which subsequently led to the famine of 1932-1933. A massive outflow of the Kazakh population from the country has begun. There was a surge of suspicion of the industrialization plan due to lack of money. In general, the totalitarian nature of the Soviet regime intensified, as a result of which about 31,000 peasants and cattle breeders were subject to repression during this period. In search of funds, the Soviet embarked on an assertive salvation campaign.